Any given day, Rosewood Boat Landing is pretty quiet. But all Tammy Downs can hear,
it gnaws at me. All the time it gnaws at me.
Is her mind racing. Her father was killed here.
Why? What was he here for? Who was this person?
For 21 years.
There's got to be answers. Somebody has to have answers.
She's never gotten any.
We get a lead, we can run with
Richland County Sheriff's Department Deputy Chief Stan Smith.
In this particular case, we have a daughter who is very involved and very persistent.
Has been involved with this case for about 7 years.
That motivates me because I'd very much like to solve it for her.
You have to go back to 1996.
This is Jack L. Robinson.
August 17th, around 6 o'clock that night. In the police report, 3 witnesses say the 65-year-old met up with someone who he appeared to know at the landing, and the two walked out of view into a grassy clearing.
They would report later that they heard Jack Robinson screaming for help, said something about, I'll give you my money, I'll give you my money. And then moments later, Robinson staggers from that area into the parking lot holding his abdomen, and he collapsed. He'd been stabbed.
Robinson had lost too much blood. He died at the hospital. Because of the people in the parking lot, investigators were able to create a composite sketch. But in all this time, that's all they've been able to do.
The evidence is still in our property room. We pulled Mr. Robinson's shirt, his clothing, his fingernail scrapings from autopsy. We've tried to get DNA. We just hadn't had any luck.
Chief Smith says part of the problem is the suspect, an Hispanic man who was in his 20s at the time, could have been living here illegally. Smith says they looked into the possibility that the two could have been romantically involved, but couldn't find any evidence that supported that. Downs says her father was a family man. Robinson spent 21 years in the Air Force. After his retirement, he worked at Moncrief Hospital at Fort Jackson. He was born in the Olympia neighborhood, not too far from where he died.
When you've got somebody in your life and they're a part of you and they're with your grandchildren and you know, and you love them and they love you. And then to know that they're just taken away just by somebody just, you know, taking a knife with their hand and just stabbing you to death for why? You know, that is my big thing. Why? Why were you here? And I need those answers. I need to know why, because this is not some place that he would be. This is not some place he would come to.
Downs' search for answers has led her through the internet, a TV show, and a book. In that time, her children have grown and she's gotten older, but the gnawing has never gone away.
All I can do is just hope and pray to God that one day that, you know, through all of this today, that maybe this could be my day and the right person is out there and they're watching.
Until that day, she will spend every chance she gets telling her father's story. Again, this is the man who investigators say killed Jack Robinson 21 years ago. Today, he would be in his mid-40s. If you know anything about this case, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. There is reward money available. From the newsroom, Grace Joyle, ABC Columbia News. Somewhere between the mountains and the sea, deep within Manchester State Forest, you can find people working 20 feet in the air.
Go ahead and drop it.
They're connecting the Palmetto Trail over a wetland.
It's a lot of wood.
Moving board by board. 24-year-old Hunter Blaylock is rigging netting.
It's a little hot. But I'm from Louisiana, so this is kind of mild.
Old railroad trestles are providing the foundation for the half-mile stretch, known as the Watery Passage. The crew is made up of AmeriCorps members working for the Palmetto Conservation Foundation.
Throughout South Carolina, we've got a lot of backlogged maintenance projects on our public lands, and our team is slowly but surely checking those off the list.
The foundation created its Palmetto Conservation Corps last August. 20-year-old Landon Donica came to South Carolina from Washington State.
It was a really good opportunity for me to get out of my home state and kind of explore the country and see what I wanted to do with my life.
AmeriCorps puts Americans to work in community service projects, ranging from education to the environment.
To be able to go back and serve my community, that is really important to me.
Your feet will soon cross over these 10 Corps members' handiwork, from Walhalla to Awanda, 360 miles down, a couple hundred more to go. In Wedgefield, Grace Joyle, ABC Columbia News. Bhavna Vasudeva and her friends had spent months preparing.
It was really incredible. I mean, it's so sad that it has evolved into this.
While they were getting ready to celebrate the opening of Beyond Bollywood at the South Carolina State Museum, their friend was getting robbed in his house.
It's terrifying.
2 weeks ago, the victim, who did not want to be recorded, swung by his house mid-morning. According to the incident report filed with the Lexington County Sheriff's Department, he found a man.
He was tied up with belts. He was held at gunpoint.
Who demanded to know where his safe was. The victim showed him, but couldn't open it. The suspect took the safe, which was full of important paperwork and $100,000 in jewelry.
In India, as in China and other parts of the world, gold is used as a means to celebrate, commemorate occasions, to save money. Also, currency is not stable. People feel like if they have gold, at least it's something tangible that they can hang on to.
The victim said that about 2 weeks prior, an African-American man and woman wearing Indian clothing knocked on his door. Vasudeva, fearful for her friend,
so it was just kind of a coincidence that you already had this group created.
Posted all the information on a closed Facebook page she'd made to organize the exhibit. What she found made her even more worried. 2 other robberies involving Indian families in the days before her friends.
You don't want people to panic. So, but when it starts becoming 3 incidences, you need to be on alert and aware. So
other Indian Americans reported similar people knocking on their door.
They were only going to Indian homes, which seemed extremely, extremely unusual.
Vasudeva says she's worried her community is being targeted. The Lexington County Sheriff's Department says it's investigating 2 robberies involving Indian families and 1 report of a suspicious car. The neighborhoods range from north of the dam to the St. Andrews area. If you notice anything suspicious, please report it to law enforcement. From the newsroom, Grace Joyle, ABC Columbia News.
She's the most joyful little girl, and
They say having a child,
she's always smiling and giggling and happy to see you when you walk up to her. And
changes the way you see the world.
we just adore her.
Raylan is Tom and Mandy Kiefer's 4th child, but she's changed their worldview in ways they never could have imagined.
A parent wants to protect their child, and no parent wants to bury their child.
The 3-year-old was born with a rare genetic disorder. Her mental capacity is that of a baby's.
You're never fully at peace.
Her body
We just live in a constant state of fear.
is at constant threat of seizures brought about by her epilepsy.
We're out at the beach, we're out at the pool over the summer calling the ambulance. My son has to go and run off and call the ambulance, and she's not breathing, and he doesn't know if she's dead or alive. I mean, that's our life.
Prescription medicine has always been a part of Raylan's life. Even so, for the first half of her life, she'd experienced up to hundreds of seizures in a day. Too many times, Tom and Mandy were forced to use a rescue medicine to stop them, while also potentially stopping her heart.
You're watching her and you're debating like, all right, if we give her this medicine, this could actually, it could take our daughter's life away.
They say they adjusted dosages, watched their daughter fight awful withdrawal symptoms, and about a year and a half ago,
Our doctor told us there's nothing else we can do for your daughter.
We were very skeptical.
So at that point, we're like, well, let's give it a shot. We have nothing to lose.
Those first 2 doses, 0.2 milliliters, and she went seizure-free for 3 months.
they're referring to CBD, a compound found in cannabis. The oil was legalized for use in severe epileptic patients in a 2014 bill.
You forgot what it was like to be in panic mode.
Now, Mandy says, Raylan has a full-blown seizure about once a month. She takes 0.2 milliliters of CBD oil 2 times a day.
I don't think that she would be alive today if we weren't using it.
After Raylan was born, her parents waited 3 hours before they knew if she was alive. Every day since then has been a guessing game. Mandy and Tom do not want their next move to be out of the state.
We want to be able to have an option where the side effects aren't going to kill our daughter, and every parent should have that.
The Kiefers say that's a statewide law legalizing marijuana for medicinal use. They've watched what CBD can do.
I think when it comes to your loved one and you're living it and you're experiencing it daily, you will do anything to save their life and to give them the best quality of life. And when you see that working, it's amazing.
They want parents to have more choices.
You have something so simple that can rescue them. Who wouldn't do it? Why would you deny that?
The Kiefers are just one family out of many who say medical marijuana could change their lives for the better. Next week, our series diving into this issue continues. I'm sitting down with the state's leader in law enforcement, SLED Chief Mark Keel. SLED has taken a strong stance against medical marijuana in the past. We'll outline why next Thursday. From the studio, Grace Joyle, ABC Columbia News.